first, I'm sorry. First, I think they lost, and the second, the country can conquer them. This is a question is why professor will always talk about the country. I know Congo guys. Congo guy is very handsome, shining sky, shining in the night, the very beautiful eyes. I'm really falling in love with the guy, but I'm married. And I think Congo people maybe will be strong. The first to be strong is not always think about money, always think about where the country maybe help them. I think it's the wrong way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mary, for your comment. And
you know, Congo guys are really beautiful. I'm really falling in
right.
love with him. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mary, for that appreciation. And I could see also a comment from Magdalene, and maybe you want to say something?
Yes, please.
Read your comment. Yes, please go ahead. And then we can go to No Wodu.
My name is Magdalene. Thank you for your moving presentation, Prof. It was like, inside an history class, but the history you speak of is the history of the entire African countries. I'm from Nigeria, and we also experience this exploitation, this bad leadership. And I don't know, because my question has always been, how do we fight, we as young people? So wherever a citizen decides to stand up, to speak up, you are coerced into submission, you are forced to keep quiet or probably killed. In the Niger Delta, Ken Saro was killed. He was hanged with 8 others for demanding that the Niger Delta must not be exploited by our very government in alliance with Shell. And these issues keep going on, even in court as we speak. And even in Congo, in Sudan, across African countries, we have leaders who do not, just like you have referenced Fanon. I follow his work. We have leaders who are just black skin. We call them our brothers, but they are purely white mask. So what can we really do as young people who are following history, this history of exploitation and plunder? How do we as young people respond, who are also affected, who we've been exterminated from our homes? And some of us are just, scrambling for survival all across the world. I have a friend from Sudan who is barely surviving in another country. And we ask this question, what can we do as young people? We have also young people who are forming themselves, who are building more rebel groups to fight back, but we do not have the power. And we're told that this is not the option. What do we do with the anger and the frustration? What do we do with all of that? But a question for you, Prof, please. The peacekeeping mission in Congo, what is the peacekeeping mission? I was following the peacekeeping mission of the South Africa. What is the impact of that in Congo at the moment? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And Ben, are you able to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
What is her name? Is it Margaret?
Magdalene.
Huh? Magdalene. Okay, Magdalene. Magdalene Idiang, thank you for your question. Honestly, what can young people do? When you call our leaders black kings, in the Congo, we call them in Lingala, one of our 450 languages, we call them Mundele Posomwindu, meaning white in black skin. These are our leaders. It's a way to to challenge what they do, just to show that they are not different for the colonial masters of yesterday who were during the colonization who were all white, but those who have taken power today are even worse. Somebody like Mobutu, he was a good guy, honestly, a good guy, but he was a greedy, just like King Leopold too. So this is why the book, I like the book written by Adam saying King Leopold's Ghost, because it's really spiritual stuff. When you get that power, somebody said the power corrupts. And these people, even those who are kind, like Mobutu, as soon as they have power, they are corrupted, and then they do even worse than colonial masters. So what to do at that case? I think it's to be aware. That is why this kind of gathering is important. And thank you for joining this group. This is where you learn many things you will never, ever learn in school or in the university. So this is where you get this spirit I call of activism. Of course, activism does mean to become rebel like M23 or like Boko Haram. No, activism is just to stand for the vulnerable. You become the voice for the vulnerable, whatever what will happen to you. You know, you'll read about my story, how I was nearly killed. Nearly killed, but at least I'm around. So that is my first response. The second thing I could say, become peacemaker and start from today. You know, I'm my role, because I'm 50, 70 plus. So now wherever I go, even not long ago, I went to Seoul in South Korea. I invited all the young people, and then I spoke to them. I want to pass you the spirit of peace, which is in me, which has been driving me which led me to leave radiology where I was working, and then to become a peacemaker. It's a spirit. I have that spirit, and I'm passing it to anyone who wants it right now, so that you can become crazy like me in a good way, not killing people, but talking to other people about how we are created. You know, if you go to CRC website, you'll see the key motto there. We are different, yes, by gender, by ethnicity, by color of skin, whatever, or by religion, but we were created to live and work together. And that is a message to pass to all over. If tomorrow we want our children to live in peace instead of killing each other for nothing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben. Now we are going to take some questions and comments, and then you can reply to them together. We're starting with Nwodu, and then we go to Richard, Janet, and then Evelyn.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. George. Thank you, Professor, for the presentation. It's just sad for us Africans, born and we are seeing our entire life, almost entire life, in this frustration. And how long this is going to take, I don't really know. In your presentation, you've spoken about 10 million people. I heard well, maybe you trying to make it a little bit soft so we can stand it, or we can have a good. But the point is calling for help from the international community. You said it at some point that the international community should help us. And why we know very well that the international community is the one behind the Kagame and the M23. And they have been around, and the US peacekeeping mission and all of them, the EU, they are all there for ages, and then the conflict is still there. So can we really rely on them? Can we because the multinationals that are after the resources from Congo that is causing the war are the same multinationals sponsoring them, I mean, organizing everything. So at the end of the day, it's the same circle of people, you know. And does it look like it's just a desperate move we are doing? We keep talking and then doing this and that, but then we know very well that the same people we are going to or appealing to help us are the people behind the whole thing. The so-called industrial countries, all of them, Germany, France, UK, America, Canada, all of them. Um, I'm so frustrated about this thing. How long are we going to spend our entire existence in this frustration continuously like this?
Wow. Maybe you continue other questions and then I respond.
My main question is the people we should call or we think can help us solving the crisis are the people, or maybe I don't know if you don't want to say it, but I think they are really because Paul Kagame, Rwanda is just a piece, is not even a state in Congo, and Kagame facing Rwanda, a huge country like that for ages and being able to dominate clearly like that is because he got his power from somewhere. And then that somewhere is what we call the international community. Am I wrong by thinking that? That's my question.
No, you're right. You're right. Nuwudu, correct? Your name. You're right.
Yeah, that's Nuodu, yeah.
You are right because UN troops are called in the Congo. The population have given them a long name. Those, I can paraphrase like this, those who came to count our dead bodies. Those who came to count our dead bodies. So nearly 30 years they are there. Instead of helping, there are allegations that some of them have got in this dirty business of minerals. And then you find yourself, if those who came to help us are now doing the same thing, who will help us? This is why you find in the Congo, nobody trusts them. The young people throw stone on their tanks. They tanks moving in the cities without going to where there are rebels, and then in the evening sitting in the posh pub writing the report to send to New York. No. People, and then they think people don't have eyes to see all that. So, but people are are frustrated, just like you know do, and so it's I understand your frustration. The second thing I could say
Yeah, but
is
the thing is not a speculation. They have been there for ages to help. There's a conflict, and you are a peacekeeping mission. You have come to help. And it's more than 20 years now, getting to 30 years. The conflict is still ongoing. So it's still clear that you have not been able to help. Or is it wrong by concluding that it's not a speculation? Or can we continue trusting them?
my answer is the responsibility are shared, as I said, between us and them. Rwanda is just a puppet. Of course, when we say Rwanda, it's a regime. It's a regime. It's not everybody in Rwanda, because we, in the frame of our group, our new activity called the peace building and reconciliation, we do go every year in the Congo in different cities. But when we arrive in Goma, which is just next door, you are shocked. The population of Rwanda are so poor. You can't imagine. And you say, this is the country international community is presenting as the Singapore of Africa. No. People, it's of course, they'll say that about Kagame just to show that Kagame is a good student for them, or the good student of International Monetary Fund. But in reality, my answer is responsibilities are shared between those who want the minerals and ourselves and our chiefs. You know, during the slavery, the people were accusing Portuguese and so on, but they forgot the chiefs who were selling these their own subjects. So we all are responsible. So if we need the people to to get out of Congo, it's up to us Africans first to be aware. The first step is to be aware that we have responsibility, and then we can kick out those who are coming just to 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 steal our resources instead of buying it properly. We are not against selling to these minerals to the West. They need it. So why not, like any market, go and buy it properly? When you need tomato, you go to the market and you buy tomato in
But they've never
daytime.
been able to buy anything properly for 600 years, and that's what they call development. They have never been able to. They are thieves, fundamentally thieves, and causing a lot of frustration for people of Africa for so many centuries. The so-called development is just a terrorism, you know. It's a
But
terrorism. They are just terror regimes and causing frustration to us all the time. You know, this
no,
is
do I
so
understand?
frustrating.
I understand your frustration, but they use our leaders that they start by making our leaders strong men. You know, Obama came to Ghana and said Africa does need strong men. We need strong institutions, and that is in some point correct. But those who want these multinationals who want they puppet to be there in leadership, they do whatever they can so that the electoral system will work for them. You see? So it's up to us to be aware and to stand firm. And that will change. I don't know how long it will take. And when you say UN, it's not only UN. That's something coming in my mind. It's not only UN. It's all these countries with name is an acronym. EU. Well, of course, EU is a group of states just like US. UK, and so on. They all of them are there. All of them. So all of them are supporting Kagame. You know, Kagame, clever he is. He started by becoming getting out of Francophonie and asking to become a member of Commonwealth, and then that is something the people like here in where I'm living. They like that. If you can get out and then come here, they like it. So Kagame became like we say in Africa, the last born. The last born, you spoil him. You spoil her. So that is how come. Do you remember not long ago, uh, um, the UK was sending, that is something else I'm telling you, but maybe you didn't know. UK did all they could to send to Rwanda what they called illegal migrants. And if you analyze scientifically, you'll find that this guy was looking for hands, you know, for the war he's doing in the war in the Congo. And if the Labour government, praise God, didn't come on board, maybe in the war we are having today in the east of Congo, these illegal, what they call illegal refugee, but refugees at least would be fighting against the Congolese people or killing Congolese people. Anyway, so that was long response. Somebody else maybe. I don't know if I respond to you properly or as you like.
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine.
Okay, thank you.
George.
Okay.
George,
Sorry.
George, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, please, Richard, go on, and then go to Janet and Evelyn, and then Ben will conclude. Yes, please.
It's I'm now getting what is it? Getting more into these build from Professor Ben's treatments. I realized that conflict is a character, and that we find it difficult to relate to it. Well, something that happened past. Why should a fight that had occurred long ago be our problem? This indeed. So I believe we are finding things difficult to relate with the traumas of past conflict. And let's see this. Our culture, African culture, we don't need electric cars, mobile phones, whatnot. So when these are made, as far as I know, when these are made, it becomes a problem in our life. We can stand here and just be thinking about our brother. Very soon you see him appearing. This is Africa. And when you look at the other continents too, they rely on a proof to communicate with the others. You see, at least a proof to communicate. So finding differences between the culture of whites and that of Africa, I think we need to relate. We need to develop certain strengths to live by them. Other than that, it will be 100 years. We'll still be thinking about a fight, just a little fight that happened, that resulted in death. Today, you see. So let us find a way to relate with conflict, so that it doesn't become disastrous, but maybe a development. Because when people are, manufacturing, let me use that instance. When they are building, it's a conflict on its own. When people are studying in a classroom, it's a conflict on its own. When you are even in a house with your family, it's also a little conflict. How do you relate to this? So our relationship to them is our problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please, Janet, Evelyn, because actually now we can see we are into extra time, but I think it's important because also this is also just a wonderful discussion. So Janet, please.
Yes, thank you, George. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Professor Ben. You are, I mean, I'm an old guy too, and I'm here to learn. And I'm so grateful for how much I've learned in this session. And I want to say, first of all, that we have to remember that this is a human historical problem. When I was 6 years old in my very good religious education, I learned the terms rape, slain, and pillage. And 6 years old from the Bible, from studying the Bible. So we have this problem forever, and we must remember not to blame only the now. So, first. Second, I'm a peace educator, and so I'm not so courageous as you, but I am a kind of shy in a certain way, and I believe that what I can do is spread knowledge. I have the position to spread things like what you've said today to other people and help them understand the impact of global greed and grabbing and undermining and puppets of leadership. And so here's where I am in the work. Of course, our country is collapsing too, because the greed has now just consolidated into a few people who have no heart. And so I've become this is my question, I've become very concerned with de-escalation. While these people are polarizing people in our country, my concern is to de-escalate conflict. And so now I'm getting a lot of rejection by people, my friends, in contentious politics, because they believe you have to go against. And so I wonder how you mediate that difficulty. And maybe you don't have time to answer, but please, I'd like to discuss it with you. Thank you so much. And I give now to Evelyn.
Great.
Yes. My question is a very short one. But first of all, like others, appreciations, Professor, for your amazing presentation. Thank you. My question is, we have a colleague who lives in Ngoma, and we don't know if we make his position better or worse by communicating with him. So it is a peace person. And my question is, do you have any sense of whether it would be useful or harmful for international people to be communicating with peace builders in the occupied area?
No, it is off. Yeah, I'm on silent.
All right, and that question I think is clear enough.
Yes, I
so
think.
Now we are going to, maybe this is going to be very quick from Jocelyn, and quickly that should be the last person to speak for today. I apologize for that because time is not our best ally. And so Jocelyn, if you could just very quickly ask your question or make your comment, and then and then we'll ask Ben to respond to questions and comments. Thank you so much for your participation and resilience. Jocelyn?
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, let me thank Professor for your good presentation. And my concern is this. In Africa, we have at least 3 challenges that triggers all these kind of crises. First of all is leadership. Then the second one is resources. And then the third one is international hands. From those 3 reasons, then what are the lessons should the young people learn from these scenarios?
Can you repeat the question? The last question?
The question is this. What are the lessons to learn? What are the lessons to learn from Congo and other crises as African people?
Thank you so much. And then Kwichiriza, please, Wilson.
Yeah, Thank you very much, Wilson from Uganda, and I'm glad that I'm the one who has been receiving these refugees from Congo. Indeed, thank you, Professor, for the wonderful presentation. And indeed, when you look at the feelings of the people from Congo, it is really painful. But I want to ask a professor, because colleagues have already discussed a number of things. Looking at the pillars of this war, doctor and professor and colleagues, my colleague has just mentioned of leadership as one of the key pillars. How are we as peacemakers going to harmonize the leadership in Congo versus the resources, the minerals? Because Professor Ben talked of the leadership and again talked of issues to do with minerals, that in countries where the leadership is somehow, let me call it somehow in quotes, there is no conflicts like it is in Congo. In other words, meaning that the leadership has a question also. So how can peacemakers harmonize the issue to do with leadership in Congo and also the minerals, which is becoming the goal, as Professor Bain has put it? Thank you very much, and I submit.
Thank you so much. Ben, please respond to those, and then we'll close.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'll start by responding to Jason. Sorry, Janet. No, before that, did I respond to somebody? No, I think Janet Gerson. You are peace educator, correct? So I think you said you are a bit shy. But I think I too was shy. Being in radiology in that room without windows for years, treating, diagnosing people who are brought to you for years. I was shy, but when you get the spirit of understanding, or what we called earlier the knowledge, which is the opposite of the medication for ignorance, you jump for it. So I hope from tonight, I don't know what is the time where you are, but from today, you got that spirit, and then you'll be able to introduce what you heard from here to your students, to pass it on. Because I do always say, the more we are aging, we have to pass the baton to the next. It's the language of Olympic Games. The relay. People run with baton and pass it to another. This is exactly what we need to do. And by the way, the Apostle Paul is the one who said it very well in his book to his son, spiritual son called Timothy. What you have heard from me, pass it on, pass it to the next generation. So I think for today, that is not the answer only to Janet, but to all of us. Another answer is for Jocelyn. There are lots of challenges. Yeah, so it's true in Africa, the leadership and so on, but it's worth to be aware of what is happening and to help around us. Always learn what we did. When it was our case in CRC, we started always by using the methodology of Jesus. When Jesus was ascending, the last message he said was, he said to his disciples, you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, end of the world. That is philosophy is amazing. Before going away, start from where you are. Start from where you are. And that is also a message to my friend from Uganda. What I forgot his name again. Quickie, no?
Wilson. Wilson.
Okay. Yeah. The same message for him. So how to harmonize the leadership and minerals? That is a big question. We do it when we go there. We go with our workshops and our lectures because we can't train everybody. We pass the message to the leaders in the church. We call them church leaders, community leaders, political leaders. All these people are, you find greedy among them. Greedy people are all over. So you pass the message so that they can be aware, informed. That is the key point to do. I think I can stop there.
And there was a question from Evelyn about, how risky it is, or whether it is risky to
There we are. Thank
communicate.
you.
Yes.
Thank you, Evelyn. Ourselves, we have our first daughter in Goma. I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. I said I have our first daughter and grandchildren in Goma. She's a pediatrician in a big hospital there, Hill Africa. And as you can guess, we were really worried here. But we communicate with her, but we choose things to say and not to say, because these rebels are controlling everything.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed, Ben, for this wonderful presentation. And well, we have learned a lot. Maybe you could also share with us later your PPT so that we can go through some of the slides that you've shown us. And I thank everybody also on this call. I thank you for your patience. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week. And we hope that Congo will be peaceful also again. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow.
Wow. Yes, wow.
Maybe I could send maybe you could send George, you could send the email to those. Maybe the people may have a additional question later. So my
All
email
right.
crc_Bradford is there. You can send it to
Good.
those.
We'll do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.